And hello, we are back with another episode of Trailblazers We Love, and we're really excited this time. We have the great Lory Tibbetts. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks as well. Haven't seen you since Life Sciences Dreamin,
Right?
the inaugural Dreamin event for the Life Sciences, which we were really happy to host in August, and so glad that you came and we're really active there. But it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah. And thanks for having me here.
Yeah, well, I thought this would be great. Everybody knows Lori has been an industry participant for a long time, different community groups and very active in the space. But I'm interested to learn more about how you got started in the Salesforce ecosystem. You mind telling me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I used to be a nurse. So I came from a healthcare background, 16 years as a bedside nurse. And during the pandemic of 2020, as you all know, so many people lost their jobs. And I was so thankful that I was an essential worker and did not lose my job. So I was really working hard
Mm-hmm.
that I burnt out myself when 2021 rolled in. I was really desperate to get out of nursing. I was even looking at openings at Walmart. But then I encountered an ad on Facebook about Salesforce 5-day challenge. I took that. I did 2 days and I decided it provided me the mental stimulation that I needed. So I
Mm-hmm.
got curious, is there a marriage between Salesforce and healthcare? So I Googled that and I found Health Cloud. And
Yeah.
I even pretended to be a company just so I can watch a demo. And after I watched the demo, I was like, that's it. I have a career trajectory here. So I ended up signing up for the Talent Stacker, which the ad was actually made by Talent Stacker.
Right.
And yeah, so you know how lonely it can get when you're trying to study by yourself, even with the Trailblazer community groups that you're able to
Sure.
ask questions and get answers. But after I finished the admin trail mix, I started trying to apply the concepts that I learned. So I started creating apps, and it was quite addicting. When I got into the making my portfolio, which I considered a project, and I posted about it on LinkedIn. I got so many questions, I got so many comments that I decided to hold workshops. I was, it was so courageous for me to do because I had no certificate to speak up at the time. And I had attendees who were as much as like 3 times certified. I was so afraid that I would get shredded, but all I got was encouragement. And some of them actually told me to remember to apply to their companies once I was certified.
Mhm.
And so after I got my certification, I actually had several interviews. I never ran out of interviews. I had to pace the interviews so that to give myself time to actually research the companies. And finally, I got into my first role at Booz Allen, which was a perfect fit for me.
Yeah, and you've been there almost 2 years now, so congratulations on that. And it's just really exciting. I had another similar conversation recently with another somebody else was telling me that they were changing industries at the start of the pandemic. So just knowing that there's those resources out there. But what's amazing in your case is that in the short amount of time that you transitioned into this Salesforce ecosystem, you also started Healthcare Heroes Force, which for those of you who don't know, is a LinkedIn group for healthcare and former healthcare workers that are getting into the Salesforce ecosystem, which Lori, you were the founder of that, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, the Healthcare Heroes Force group, after I discovered how supportive the community was, even for someone with no certificate trying to teach others, um, it kind of refilled my cup from from the pandemic, very burnt out cup was totally emptied out. And yeah, I actually had to quit nursing because I felt like it was unfair for my patients if I wasn't doing my best.
Right.
So now with this tech, after I gave back to the community early on by teaching others how to build their portfolios using Experience Cloud, I realized how different the Salesforce community was, and I wanted to find the others like me who were burnt out from healthcare. So I founded the Healthcare Heroes Force group, and I just announced. I announced first to my Talent Stacker community. I said, if there are any of you who came from the health and life sciences, please join me. And it was tough at first because I I had really no credentials to speak of, and I was just interviewing like what you're doing now. I was interviewing trailblazers essentially who came from the healthcare background, and that provided a good content for those that I was targeting to be members. And we've created a good repository of interviews,
Yeah.
mainly informational interviews for successful transitioning.
Yeah, and it's a great group for everybody out there. Almost 1,000 members, which is really exciting. I'm
Exactly.
one of those
Yeah.
members, and I'm neither a former or current healthcare employee. So if you're out there and saying, "Oh, is this for me?" It is for you. You can learn a lot there about Experience Cloud, Health Cloud, these different things, and highly recommend that as a resource for anybody out there. Go ahead, and people are allowed to join that, right?
Yes, and actually, not only those with health and life sciences background are welcome, but also those who are working in Salesforce with healthcare clients or life
Mm,
sciences clients. Because I meant for it to be a support group so that those who are already seasoned can guide the newer ones. And
that's
the
awesome.
networking will be kind of like in a niche. So hopefully it will be better for the employers, potential employers, to find the unicorns that they are looking for, and for these transitioners to make it easier for them to find potential employers.
Yeah, well, it's certainly been a helpful resource for me. I'll put in the name of the group in the description box for anybody that's watching this on YouTube. But yeah, so Lori, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. I know we're so grateful to have you here. What have been some really good Salesforce resources for you? I know that you mentioned Trailhead and Community, and you've even started some of your own. So maybe you've already answered that question, but are there any other really helpful resources for you out there?
Well, as far as support, really, Trailblazer community groups, I would suggest for anyone to not just join the local Trailblazer community groups, but also any group that holds some virtual sessions. There were a lot of such virtual sessions during the time that people are not meeting in person. So I
Yeah.
got to I became a member of a lot of them. And they provide a good amount of learning, not only technical, but also gives a good view of how the Salesforce is being used in various businesses. Also, when it comes to exams, my favorite really is Focus on Force and Udemy.
Mm, cool. And everybody knows Sales Cloud or Marketing Cloud, but what do you think is the most underrated Salesforce product from your vantage?
Well, I don't think I've been exposed enough to all the products of Salesforce to know which one is most underrated. But for outside of the actual Salesforce products, and I don't know if Trailhead Coach is a Salesforce product or a Trailhead product.
It's a good question.
But membership to Trailhead Coach, I believe, is by invitation only. And
Ah,
to get invited, one has to be a TACC participant or a lead. Lead meaning a volunteer. Like I'm volunteering to be a lead for TACC, which is Talent Alliance Career Cohort. We have our own Healthcare Heroes cohort, and everyone who had gone through being a lead or being a participant gets to be a member of the Trailhead Coach. The
hmm,
perks being once you are in the Trailhead Coach, you have access to free certificate vouchers on
Wow.
the core certificates. So even something like architect certificates, you will get access to that. What you won't have access to the vouchers would be for any any accreditation exams, which will be through Partner Learners Camp.
Mm.
Another perk would be the automatic interviews for those who are job seeking. They get a chance to hit a button to hopefully get an interview right away, or at least to connect with a potential Salesforce partner for interview. Either it doesn't necessarily mean that they have an opening, but it gets you that exposure if you're the job seeker.
Cool. Yeah. Um, I'll ask you more a little bit later about how people that are interested in this Trailblazer coaching can get that invitation. And once more, I'll put that information in the description. So this is a question I'm really curious about because you're somebody that really has your finger on the pulse of the industry, and in particular where it intersects with health care. So I'm really curious if you have any predictions for Salesforce in 2024, and if you don't have any predictions, rather, what's something that you would like to see from Salesforce in 2024?
Well, I think that there will be a boom in the industry specific roles, and those with significant background will find themselves being the unicorn that these companies will need to expand or grow their businesses, particularly in the health and life sciences industry, because
Mhm.
the healthcare, for example, has been very slow in the digital transformation. And I think
Right.
this is the right time for healthcare businesses to get into it. And Salesforce is paving the way for, especially with the use of AI and paying attention to the trust elements like the HIPAA compliance, even 508 compliance for those who are in the federal space. Yeah, I think there will be a boom there. So I'm really encouraging my healthcare heroes to just be patient and show your value using your background.
Yeah, we talked to some people in healthcare, and they're like, everybody's talking about AI. We're still using pen and paper, so like they missed the whole intermediate step. But
Right.
I definitely agree that we're in some exciting times for the healthcare space. Obviously, life sciences cloud is coming for
Mhm.
people in pharma and clinical research. That could be really interesting. So we'll have to see there as well. Finally, and this is a fun one. Uh, I want if you could give me a recommendation for a book, a podcast, a cooking show, something like that. Anything not Salesforce related. We've done a lot of Salesforce talking. What are you reading? What are you watching?
So, well, my interests, as far as books are concerned, are on personal finance because I'm a late
Mm.
starter. I got into financial literacy at age 49. Can you believe that? Also, books on natural skincare products.
Mm.
I like making them from scratch. And as far as podcasts that are not Salesforce, I love the Doctor's Pharmacy podcast by Dr. Mark Hyman.
Mm.
It covers functional medicine, and functional medicine delves into the root causes of a lot of chronic issues. So
Mhm.
not just band-aid for symptoms.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll have to exchange ideas over coffee scrubs and turmeric-based skin remedies. I can, I secretly have a passion for such things as well. So, I really thank you so much for your time today, Lory, and look forward to seeing you at the next Life Sciences Dream-In, if not sooner.
Yeah, I look forward to that too. And thank you, Sam, for having me here.
It was our pleasure. Thank you so much. Everybody go ahead and add Lory on LinkedIn. I'm sure she'll accept, and she's a great person to be connected with. Thank you so much for your time, Lory.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. You have a great day.